Okay, so this sounds like it's a heat pump system.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. With a heat pump system, actually, it's a ground source heat pump system. There's actually air-to-air heat pump systems, but we are ground source heat pump systems, which makes us so much more efficient. Um, with ground source heating and cooling systems, you can actually plug in radiant floor heat to that, where a lot of people do their entire homes. A lot of people just do the basement and let it just do that, radiate
Or
out
the
of the
bathrooms.
basement and go up to the top of the house. Yeah. Bathrooms are good, kitchens are good in a tile, hardwood. Um, Garages are really good. People that like to work in their garage through the
That
winter.
is a real good idea.
I personally am outside all the time and loved it, and winter really cuts me down. So, but with our garage now, we have radiant in that, and we'll be able to work in our garage all year round. Actually, at this facility, we have it here, and we are constantly opening and closing doors. With forced air and those doors constantly opening, you lose a lot of that energy that's already been produced.
Right.
But with radiant, actually, it's coming, the concrete is heated, so it's just radiating out of there, and when the doors close, open, you're hardly losing any energy.
And once it's warm, since it's so dense, it holds the heat for quite a while.
Right, exactly. And you can run it on low, and still have a great temperature inside the building. So,
Okay. That is interesting to
yeah,
me in that since I want to have part of my house's business and manufacturing, that'll be in the garage.
right,
And I don't know if you know much about leads, but you don't want to have the ducts into the garage because any fumes you have can go back through the ducts.
right.
Whereas if I use radiant heating for that,
Uh-huh.
that's not an issue.
Exactly. You can cool. I mean, obviously, you can cool that garage area as well too.
Right.
Geothermal. I do need to say that geothermal is not if you're looking to buy a home or with another building. It's not just for new homes. It's 60% of our business right now is retrofits. So, and with a 30% tax credit, it's the way to go if your home. If you need a new air conditioner, so let's say right today it's April and you're getting ready to turn on your air conditioner next month, and it doesn't turn on for you, geothermal is the way to at least look in the first place.
Right. Okay. What are the other advantages in geothermal?
Well, there's actually, first of all, I do need to say is lower operational costs, like we mentioned earlier. They are set up to 70%, maybe even higher, more efficient than a standard heating and cooling system. So they're going to lower your energy bills by 70% plus. Also, is safety. No propane, no natural gas in the house. So if you're having a party in the kitchen, somebody bumps into the range light there and turns it on, then throws natural gas through the house, you have a serious problem. With geothermal, you're taking all of that out of the house and only having electricity inside the home.
And the nice advantage of no carbon monoxide
Right.
poisoning potential.
Exactly. That as well. Also, comfort. Actually, like I said earlier, we used to have heating oil in our house, and the thermostat, when it would call, it would just blow hot air, dry hot air in your face. You're sitting there watching TV or whatever, and you just get hot, and you're like, man, I got to turn down the thermostat now because it's so hot in here. Now with geothermal, it works on a slower fan, which keeps more humidity in the air and keeps the house at a regular temp.
So it's much more constant.
Right, it's a constant fan, not a constant fan, but it's a slower reacting fan.
Your temperature doesn't go up and down quite as fast or
Right.
quite as much.
And with leaving it at that, it's more efficient that way. It kind of works like a fluorescent light bulb. It's not beneficial to turn the bulb like that on and off. It's best to just let it run to save energy. And that's exactly what geothermal does. It works the exact same way. So if you're leaving for the weekend, let's say for example, don't mess with the thermostat. Just leave it where it's at, whether it's programmable or not. Just let it be, and it'll work actually less doing that than it would be if you were to actually change the thermostat and take it way down.
Right.
Now, if you're leaving for the week, that's a different different situation.
Right.
But
You don't
but if-
have to adjust it every day when you leave and every day when you come back from work.
Right, exactly. So it's, geothermal just likes to run and likes to stay at that constant temperature. Now, if you do adjust it, people say, well, does that mean it's going to take a lot longer to get to temperature? Yes, it's going to be a little slower, but not by a noticeable difference.
One nice advantage in the long run with that is as your temperature goes up and down every day, if you're turning your thermostat up and down every day when you leave for work, everything expands and contracts with the temperature, and things just wear faster in your house that way.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, it keeps more humidity in the air, or it has, actually we can plug on a humidifier or a dehumidifier onto the system, depending on what the area where you live or what your application is. But yes, geothermal heating cooling system actually keeps that constant temperature, so you don't have wear and tear on the items inside the home.
Okay. One area I've heard is another big advantage is hot water. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Actually, hot water is a waste product of geothermal, especially in the summer. So you're taking that hot air that's within the home originally and taking it out, putting it in the earth, bringing that 55-degree temperature back up into the home. Therefore, it's generating that hot energy within the water. We have a separate heat exchanger on the geothermal system, which will actually take that hot water and send it to what we call a buffer tank, which is just an additional hot water heater that is an empty tank, basically. And it sends it to that tank, and it'll send it to 100 plus degree temperatures, up 120, I think is
really?
the max we want to see for as far as safety goes.
Right.
And probably code. But then it'll send it over to their standard hot water heater. And then it'll already be up to temperature most likely, and you won't have to run your hot water heater at all for the entire, at least 6 months. And this, like I said, in the summer, it's more efficient, but in the winter, it's still generating a lot of hot water.
Still helps.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So actually, with that being said, I may as well touch on another point that hot water generators, as far as on demand, they really don't benefit geothermal as much because you still have to pay for that thing to be running. With geothermal, that's a waste product, like I said. So you get 2 hot water heaters and just let it run for the entire, let them run, and you'll save oodles of energy doing that. Whereas a hot water heater, you'll constantly be running that. And with 2 tanks of hot water, whatever the size is for the home, I think we just put in a couple big ones at our house, and we're never going to run out of hot water.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, that's one thing people don't realize, that your 2 of your main energy users in the house are HVAC and hot water.
Right, exactly. We're tying them in together, and you're almost eliminating one completely.
Right.
And the other one's working half as hard.
I've been studying this because I'm writing a book on it, actually.
Oh, gotcha. Awesome.
Saving energy is coming.
Yeah, awesome. Well, good for you. Yeah, I hope that I can never write a book.
Well, you're helping me,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, all right, good.
Okay.